Hello everyone, welcome to another Green Dragons Gaming Club. Without us, they never feel like winners. Without them, we could look so good. So again, we have Knights of Equitaine versus the Vampire Covenant. Ryan and I, we just did that other game, battle report for the other game we just did together. So after we finished that up, we went and played another game. This battle report I'm doing solo, without Ryan, because I'm doing it the following day. We're going to try to do it so that we do it with our opponents to give you those unique perspectives, but not all the time. But again, my name is Mark, Sir MC on the Sir MC 2015 on the Ninth Age Forum, and that's it. So here we have the armies, same armies. We're preparing for that tournament up in New York, so we wanted to see how they performed again. I found my list. First off, Equitaine's been my army for almost 20 years now, and I started playing 3rd edition. The come and go, so I'm very good with them. I do have others, but I'm very good with my Equitaine. Since the 9th Age, I haven't been able to make it work the way I like it. This list is finally working for me the way I want my Equitaine list to perform. So I'm not going to go into too much here. I have my Grail Knights on the left. There actually should only be 6 Grail Knights. I do remove one for the actual game. 8 Knights of the Realm behind. 8 Knights of the Realm on the other flank. Unit of Peasants with Sword and Board. 2 units of Peasant Archers. 2 Trebuchets. And 1 unit of 18 Knights of Forlorn full command. I have a level 2 with the Tome of Arcane Knowledge. Sir William, who's my BSB. He has the Sword of Heroes, the Hardened Shield, the War Banner, and Potion of Speed. Duke Breslin, who has the Dragon Lance, Crystal Ball, Dragon Helm, and what else does he have? I think that's it. Virtue of Might, and my BSB has Virtue of Daring, and then I have a Paladin with the Virtue of Piety, and the Beastbane Halberd, the Mithril Armor, and that's it. My level 4 Mage, who has the Book of Arcane Knowledge, Arcane Power, the Scepter of Dominion, Talisman of Roland. So all my characters are kitted out. I feel for the way Equitaine is, you need kitted out characters to really make it work and work well. So there's his list. He has the Shrieking Horror, the Barrow Guard, 2 units of Ghouls at Skirmish, a unit of Zombies in the back, 2 units of Dogs, 2 Vargolfs, a unit of Skeletons, and a unit of Hex Wraiths. His characters include 2 Vampires and a Necromancer, and he keeps his magic power low. Where he only has 2 level 2s and a level 1. It's a very, very smart. Sorry, you hear my dog in the background walking upstairs. It's a very, very smart play by him because he just keeps. He's like, I'm not going to bother wasting magic dice and possibly not get a spell to go off. He just keeps raising dead, raising dead, raising dead. Makes his army very difficult to play against, but it's a smart play, and you have to. First off, Ryan's a very good player. You have to play him smartly, and he does a truly good job. So here are my spells. So my level 4 is going to have Summer Growth, the Oaken Throne, Master of Earth, and Healing Waters. The attributes Breath of Life. My level 2 mage has Blizzard, Thunderbolt, and Lightning Storm. Overall, I'm pretty happy, and second sign is the attribute, but I neglected to put that in to that picture. Over here, he's got the Invocation of Undead, the Dance of Macabre, and the Curse of the Dead. So he's named his Count Anton is going to be his Vampire Lord. Let me actually paint that for him. And he's got Edgar, the Necromancer. And he hasn't named his BSB yet. And he's borrowing one of my models for this game. So here's how the board looks. So it's we've done Vanguards. We about ready to roll for first turns. And no, it looks like standard deployment. It actually wasn't standard deployment. It was flank deployment. He was the attacker, so his flanks could be further up, and my middle was further up. just didn't deploy it as far as I could. I think my peasants may have. And the way we started doing deployment is I place one, he place one, I place another, and so on. And then finally, I looked at him like, you have too many big blocks. You're going to out deploy me no matter what. And that's it. I'm done. I'm going to put down my entire army so this way I have a chance of getting first turn. I do take the Blessing of the King. Again, it has the 5+ ward save for the knights. That's all I can say. Being able to have a chance to go first means a lot to me. Even if I don't go first, the way we had deployed is not the end of the world. And that's the big reason why I didn't deploy as far up as I could have, is if I were to charge, I'd need 10 on dice for knights, provided we both were up at the line. And I don't want him, with that streaking heart, to be able to come over and yell at me turn one if he gets that first turn, killing 5 knights, 6 knights, something ridiculous like that. So turn one, I move up like so. I made sure that the one unit of knights on the far flank was in range of my general, in case he did run up and starts reaching at me. And that's it. I move my level 4 mage. Because the Beloved, I keep her in the back of the Knights Are Forlorn. I took her out of that unit because he doesn't have any real range, and that unit's going to be going into combat. So if I roll a miscast and all of a sudden she's surrounded by a template, she's killing my own knights, I don't have a reason to keep her there. I kept the level 2 mage in the Grail Knights, though, because in case they do kill a Grail Knight, she then fills in that rank and can then complete that rank. So that's why I did that. I get 7 dice. I put up the Oaken Throne. He stops my Thunderbolt, but I do get Master of Earth off. I forgot to declare the larger version, so it goes off. It's D6, Strength 5. He makes every save. I actually do 3 wounds, and he rolled a 4, 5, 6. I'm like, okay, that's the way he's going to be. Over here, Trebuchet! Crap! Betsy got loose. As you can tell, I now have my cow facing the wrong way because I rolled a misfire. Cannot shoot this turn or next. And this is how it looks. My other Trebuchet, for my working Trebuchet, actually just flat out missed everything altogether. Now, go to his turn. He turns around, he moves up, and repositions his Varkalox. And I'm going to go back a pick here. And that's it. I mean, he just repositions himself. So he gets off the Invocation of the Undead. I didn't care at that point. He tries to Dance Macabre. I did not want him moving his things. I did not want him getting rerolls to hit, so I stopped that. Then I have the Invocation of the Undead again on the zombies. He got another 10 zombies. Zombies. They just keep coming and growing and growing. And that's how the board looks. So now it's turn to me. This is the end of the movement phase. So he turned around, he threw his Hex Wraiths up right in front of my knights. And it was such a smart play because if I ignore them, if I go around them, then he bounces through the units. And they're Strength 5, 5 hits. He can turn around and kill a bunch of my knights. Or he can go after my war machines, go after my peasant archers, and go after my mage. So it was such a smart play to do that. I turn around and I think I actually probably would have thrown them actually in the water. But he turns around and he forces me to charge him that way. So I charge in with my unit of knights of 8 knights over there. And that's it. He chaffed up my... actually, I tried to charge his ghouls down the bottom of the screen there with my Knights of Forlorn. I failed. They move a whopping 3 inches. So I used his own chaff to chaff him. Because I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to charge in with the Ground Knights because now all of a sudden they're going to get double charged by 2 Varkalox. I'm actually going to just simply sit there and, try to hold him off and hopefully pelter him with my magic. That was my game plan anyway. And Betsy still turned around, moved my mage over, and that's how the board looks. So he stops my Thunderbolt. I get Blizzard off because I want the reroll. I want the attribute. Otherwise, I didn't care. He stopped my Master of Earth on his Shrieking Horror. Close combat. Because shooting, one trebuchet couldn't shoot, the other trebuchet I believe missed. My archers didn't do much of anything, so close combat. So I charged in. I actually do 2 wounds to him, and he does 2 wounds to me back in return. I win combat res by 3. However, his BSB is within 12 inches, so he only crumbles by 2 instead of 3. Had his BSB not been there, then I would have that unit would be gone. And I was actually pretty happy about that. And still, I'm like, all right, well, you can't charge him with your big block. Not overly concerned yet. And that's that. So here's how it looks at start of his turn. He's actually going to take his Shrieking Horror into the side of those knights, which I saw. I wasn't overly concerned. My goal is still to turn around and get him stuck there so that on my turn I can hopefully get my peasants to charge in to those to his fast cav and just kill him with combat res. He moves everything up. He chafs me up even more. He tries to chaff me up even more and just repositions. So you can see here's his repositioning. He's ready to charge into my flanks with the 2 Varkaloks, but I'm not. My general's in that unit, and that's it. He chasts up my Grail Knights with his ghouls, and there's a and I'm like, still, I'm all right with this so far. There are the dogs over there, trying to get closer to my war machines and archers. So, he turns around. He does Invocation of Undead on the whatever they are, the Hex Wraiths. So he only gets a single Hex Wraith back, but he does heal a wound. Actually, that's what the archers did. The archers turned around and did a couple of wounds to a Shrieking Horror. I'm surprised I didn't take pictures of that. But they heal a wound up, and that's so that goes down to 1. So that's what occurs there. So good to go back 1 pick. So my knights. That's it for magic. Everything else was stopped. For him, I killed both of them. Just flat out killed him. Wasn't combat res. He rolled double ones because I did like 4 or 5 wounds to him between the 3 horses and the 6 knights. His Shrieking Horror does maybe 1 wound, and oh no, fails to wound completely. He whiffs. He just rolls 2, 2, 2, 2, and 1, and maybe a single wound, and I saved it. He's like, of course you did. So I turn around, I reform, facing his horror. I actually did try to charge here. I tried to charge my general into his general. Okay, because I did, or the zombies. I actually tried to roll for the zombies. All I needed was an 8. So you figure I have Virtue of Daring, you get an extra plus D3 to my charge range. Plus I have Swift Stride. I rolled a 5 for my Swift Stride roll. So I'm like, all right, well, I have an extra D6. Let's see what happens. Nope, rolled 2. So I ended up only moving up 3 inches. Again, keeps me out of the water, and I'm not overly concerned. My issue is the Varkalak going in the rear. I'm not concerned about my flank. Trying to think. My Forlorns just simply did a swift reform, and I moved my mage because I wanted to try to get her closer to combat for healing waters. I didn't realize that the spell was such a short range, but otherwise she's got a bunch of other spells that she was doing. So she does get Master of Earth off on the one Varkalak again because I had the impassable piece of terrain on one side, the hill on the other, and it's measured 18 inches from the terrain piece. I've got and from her, I've got basically range of the entire board if need be. So it's great. I rolled very well to wound, and it was 2d6 strength 5, and he failed all four of his ward saves. I think he literally split it down the middle. I think I did 8 wounds, and he did 4 and 4. So over here, hey, look, Betsy ate a peasant. Another misfire onto the shooting phase. And my magic didn't do really anything else that game or that turn. Over here, my peasants, angry peasants with a bad Scottish accent, killed 2 of his hounds over there. And that's it. So, like, all right, he's going to charge in to my peasants, which is what I thought I was going to do. Do a stand and shoot. I'll probably win that combat. However, Ryan is a very, very good player. And he's like, I'm just going to bypass your peasants and try to go after your war machines. Over here, he only kills 2 knights. And I end up sticking because, let's see, even though I lost by 2, I think I put a wound back on him. And so I only lost by 1. My general was there with the reroll, so they stuck. Trebuchet! The one working trebuchet shot. So you see the zombies all the way in the back there with 3 peasants. Those are actually my models. The trebuchet actually turned around and killed 10, 13, 14 zombies. Way to go, trebuchet! See, one of them showed up for work. The other one, the cow got loose. So, start of his turn, he turns around. He charges in with his barrel guard in general into the flank of the knights. He moves up the skeletons. He charges the zombies into my peasants. Charges the Varkalak. All he's hoping to do is hold my knights for a turn. So he charges in to the flank of my knights with the Varkalak. And he chaffs up my ground knights once again. So, to me, Ryan told me after the game, he's like, yeah, no, I had you. I really thought I had you, like that second turn when I got that, when you failed that charge, and I got those charges in, and I even had you charge. I felt really, really good about my chances. I'm like, all right, you know, entitled. I didn't. I felt comfortable because of the matchups at that point. Like I knew I was going to lose the knights. I figured my general was going to hold and win with combat res, and that's it. So he turns around. He gets off. I stopped his invocation of the undead. Then he gets it off again. Hey, look, 10 zombies out of 13 that I already killed. They come back. They always come back. Then he does the Curse of the Dead, which gives him +1 strength and a 5-up regen save. Those poor peasants. Poor peasants. They're meant to die. My peasants actually lived, though. So over here, between his general, killed 2. The Shrieking Horror finally rolled really, really well. There goes all of them. They are now officially dead. Over here, he killed 4 of my peasants. I think I killed a couple of the zombies, but nothing worth making note over. And his Varkalak did kill 2 of the knights, but again, I was sitting at a static 1, 2, 3, static 4. So he did 2, and I think I may have done a wound back on him or not. But oh no, I didn't do anything back. So I was sitting at a static 4. So we bounce. I do my leadership test, and I reform there. So, onto my magic, because all I do is I reposition up. I actually take my Knights of Forlorn and had charged them into, let's see, let me go back. And then one more pick, 1 second, there it is. So I actually take my Knights of Forlorn and charge them into his ghouls. I did not use my ground lights, because again, I had that magic missile and and stuff like that, and that's what I want to be able to utilize. My peasants fled, the knights were dead, and that's it. So I don't have anything else really to move on the board. Everything's either tied up in combat or they're peasants sitting back and they're designed to kill. Even my mage stayed where she was. Let me go back to where we were. So I did he stops my Master of Earth, but I get Summer Growth, so I get 2 knights back, giving me. So regardless, I still have 1 rank not on the water. And so I'm saying like a static 5 at this point. Over here, I cast Thunderbolt, which is why I didn't charge in. And I'm like, yes, Thunderbolt, great job. I roll my dice. I roll a 2 for a number of hits. Okay, well, bad roll. Okay, come on. I roll a 1 and a 2. All right, secondary hit because it's flying. I roll a 2 again, and I roll again. They weren't 6s. So she just proved useless for that round. And trebuchet! My trebuchet turns around and kills a whole bunch of what the heck were they? The barrow guard, and that's it. So here's close combat. Picked up, he moved him out. He didn't do a single wound to me, and we just ate him. And I actually overrun into the wolves that turn. So, and my general with did 1 or 2 wounds to him. He did one. He did. I did 2 wounds to him, and then static res where I was sitting at I think it was like a +4 or 5. He just went pop. And now this is his turn. So I turn around, I make sure my entire unit's off that water terrain. I'm looking at over at his zombies there, and I rallied my peasants at that point in time. And I finally moved my mage out of my Grail Knights because I figured she's not going to be needed over there. It's best to have her by her lonesome. And that's it. That's really how it looks. So that was now his turn. So he charges in. Oh, my archers! My archers failed to wound. He thought his wolves were dead because he was within 15 inches. I only was 4s and 4s. I had 11 archers. I only did 3 hits and failed to win with all 3 hits. So he gets into my one working trebuchet. The only trebuchet that's done anything in any of the games. As you can see, Betsy still turned around again. And she does finally get to shoot turn 6, in which case she misses completely. So where were we? So as you see, he charges in with his zombies. He charges in with his general and barrow guard into the peasants. And that's it. Let's see. So he turns around. He gets off Invocation of Undead onto his zombies again, adding in, I believe, another 10 zombies. Then you had Curse of the Dead. So they have a +1 strength and a 5-up ward save. I let it go. They're zombies. His Shrieking Horror shrieks at my peasants in the shooting phase, killing 6 of them. They flee. Why? Because they're peasants. And he only does 2 wounds, or one wound to my trebuchet. So I'm like, okay, I got a fighting chance. I miss with all 3 remaining peasants. They lose by 2. They break. They run, and they're now off the board. Over here, his general and that big monstrous unit actually only did 4 wounds. I was pretty happy with that. But again, that's why I don't like Perry. Is to me the barrow guard, his elite killing machine, should eat that unit. I shouldn't be able to hide behind those shields. It's the rule. You'd be silly not to play with it, but that's why I'm not a huge fan of Perry. So, granted, he was still hitting on 3s because of the Banner of the Barrows, but still. They end up surviving, but they still break from combat and run away. And over here, I killed at least 10 zombies, killing another 10. Or no, I just killed 10. They turn around and eat those wolves and turn around and face off at the zombies for a flank. So here's how it looks at the end of my movement phase. So as you can see, my Knights of Forlorn got in that charge. I declare the charge. I'm like, you know what? I might as well. I've got nothing else to lose. Nothing's going to touch them. He's like, yeah, it makes sense. So I walk over, grab my dice, and just throw down 2 dice. I roll boxcars. And he's like, what'd you need? Really, in retrospect, what did you need for this roll? I needed like a 10 or 11 to make that roll. But hey, boxcars are boxcars. So they get in to that combat with the Paladin and right into the flank, killing his ranks at that point. I failed to rally my peasants. They're running, and as I always say, peasants, they're meant to die. My trebuchet is still facing the wrong way. I actually take my trebuchet and move my trebuchet backwards out of his charge range from his dogs since he can't shoot this turn. And the following turn, he takes his dogs and moves them backwards because he's like, no, if they're only moving 9, you're going to get 2 free shots, and I don't want to give you those 4s to hit me and wound me. And then even if I do get into combat, I'm not going to be able. I probably won't do anything to it. So I'm like, okay, makes sense to me. So let's see. He stops my Thunderbolt. He stops my Master of Earth. And now we're into combat. His zombies actually kill a knight. I rolled a 1. Oh well, c'est la vie. It's because he had that +1 strength, so he needed 3s to wound me. On the right, he killed 3 of my Knights of Forlorn, but I've got him finally down to 20 zombies. When all's said and done, he's down to 20 zombies. So, start of his turn, he turns around, he issues a charge against the peasants to make him run even further from his Shrieking Horror, and he's looking greedily at my general unit. He's like, you know what, I kill that unit, that's bulk of your points, I've got the game then in the bag. I'm like, okay, if you say so, go for it. Because I'm looking at this going, you have zombies, you're not going to kill enough. At most, you're going to only kill, unless you go after my characters, which case they're dangerous characters, you're going to only get 3, 5, 6 knights. That's all I have left in that unit is 6 knights. Because he can't hit the Forlorns, and meanwhile he's got 20 zombies. So I get off Blizzard onto... I had Blizzard already on him, so back in my own Magic phase, I forgot to take a picture of that. And he gets off the Invocation of Undead, and he basically puts back his ranks. So his general turns around. We're now in close combat, and he's going against the unit. His general turns around, kills 2 of my knights. I get no armor save because he's got some of the Obsidian Sword, I think it's called. And I roll my ward save. I rolled Boxcars. And he goes, no, reroll it because I have Divine Icon. All right, take my dice, roll them again. Boxcars again. I just looked at him like, that's bad luck. I'm sorry, I gotta take a picture of that. But that was just bad luck on his part, or great luck on my part. Really great luck on my part. Again, the Blizzard spell, that's why he didn't... No. He definitely killed the peasants earlier free. But that's, again, why the Battle Guard were not as effective, was because of Blizzard. And, as I said, he's charging with the Shrieking Horror. He did his 2 wounds with the Shrieking Horror. And he was upset on how the Shrieking Horror performed. Like, but that's what did your wounds, was your Shrieking Horror. I rolled ward saves. Okay, from it, because I have a 5-up ward save. So he's in the water. He's getting no rings. All he has is a charge, flank, and a banner. My general, during close combat, turns around and kills 4 zombies. Then he uses his breath weapon, kills another 7 zombies. Then my BSB goes and kills another 3 or 4 zombies. Then my paladin goes and kills another couple of zombies. By the time the knights were done and were at the Always Strikes Last great weapons, he only had 2 zombies left, in which case 3 of the Knights of Forlorn killed the remaining unit. And I killed 3 of the ghouls after they killed 3 of my Knights of Forlorn over there. So I'm like, okay. And this frustrated him, because he's like, you killed my entire unit of zombies. I should have won this combat. Like, here's the thing: is you had no ranks, and you're going over water. I'm already sitting a static 1-2, static 3 just from banners. Okay, so you're only going to be getting in. You're only taking 2, so I'm already up on your static res, and then it's whatever wounds we do. And you only did 2 wounds to the knights, which, granted, I had Blizzard up on you, and you just I got very lucky. So even if I lose another 2, because it was such a complex close combat, as you hear my son upstairs making noise, it was such a complex combat. It just, to me, it wasn't. It actually was geared towards my favor, and he did forget that I had that breath weapon. in there. And I keep that breath weapon. That's why I take the Dragon Lance rather than the Flaming Lance, is just for it's an infantry killer. So this way I can hopefully hit that unit, cause as many wounds as humanly possible, using the second sign, reroll a couple of those wounds here or there if need be. He's my Blender Lord. So the ghouls go pop, the Shrieking Horror goes pop, and he loses 9 of his Grave Guard because they have bodyguards. So you take the whatever crumbling and half it. So that would have been 18 wounds. That would have been the whole, most of the unit at that point. So I do a reform. I have my Forlorn face off against his Necromancer, and my Knights are going one-on-one against his big unit. So here's how it looks. It's now my turn. Peasants are still running away. They actually do rally that turn. And this is top of 6 at this point. I run my mage up, and I didn't bother moving the peasants because they rallied and it's turn 6. Didn't make a difference. And magic, I get Summer Growth. So those knights that he kept killing, so that unit, I would have to go back and take a look, but I'm pretty sure Varkalaf killed 2 his initial charge and then killed another one. So that's 3 right there. He killed another 2. That's 5 out of 8 models. And at least, and the zombies killed 1. That's 6. I should only have 2 knights left. Instead, I actually have a fighting force of 6 knights. So I'm not doing badly there. I turn around and get Healing Waters on them, so now they have a 4-up regen, and that's that. So shooting, I kill 1 more dog, and that close combat, I didn't take a picture of it because we were too busy talking about it. He does a single wound on my BSB with lethal strike. I fail my ward, and from his unit, and that kills my character. That just kills my character flat out. I'm not a fan of multi-wounds. To me, the only thing that should have multi-wounds are the war machines. That helps set them apart, unless it's like a magic item. But then again, I'm fine with them having Killing Blow. I didn't mind the rolling of the 6s. And that's actually what he did. He did roll a 6. So so here I didn't mind losing my BSB, but I think I said MW, the multi wounds, I think can be a little too much sometimes. End result, though, it definitely was a massacre for the Knights of Equitaine. It was that one big convoluted battle, and I was waiting to see what he did with his general during his turn. And he launched him in there because if he had waited out and I had and kept my knights where they were, I would have still probably popped my breath weapon, killed the zombies outright, and then charged in the following turn. So it's a tough say as to which way to go, but it was definitely 20-0. So for me, the MVPs for the Knights of Equitaine was Duke Breslin. I would honestly, I'm going to throw my Grell Damsel, Sophia, is what I've always called her. Without her magic, I would have been at a lot less of a fighting force. So the more I'm using nature, I don't know. I always thought casting values for nature were too high to really be utilized and utilized well. But the more I'm using it and using the spells the way I'm using them, the more I'm happier about it. And for me, the Vampire Covenant was just Shrieking Horror. He killed the 2 knights in the close combat. He finally killed that other unit of knights. Granted, he had to have help from the other unit. And he made the peasants run even further. So that's it. Thank you so much. Again, this is Mark, or Sir MC 2015 on the 9th Age. Do have a couple of questions to you, the listeners. 2 questions. One is, can you challenge to the side? So unit charges in your flank. Can you challenge the unit that charges your flank or rear? The next question, I want to ask this on the boards too. The next question is make way. Can you make way to the second rank? Because the way the rule reads is it says you have to go to your frontage. So I played it so that you couldn't, because again, the frontage means the front, But as I'm thinking here, it's like, no, frontage is just your frontage. You have your frontage on the sides or the front rank. The frontage doesn't or the back rank. The frontage does not necessarily mean the front rank. So that's my question: is can you make way to the side? Because when that Varkalok charged my unit of Knights of the Realm, I had wanted to move in my BSB and my General to fight the Varkalok to increase my chances to kill that thing turn 1 and not be held up, or the turn that it charged in. So if you have the answers to that, that's fantastic. If not, hey, no worries. And all I can do is say thank you so much for listening, and we're definitely enjoying it. We are going to try to make sure we do 2 people, so both players, to give their perspectives during the battle reports, but you'll still get individual ones like this because sometimes we just can't do that. If you do live in the Westchester area or out in the Chester County, Montgomery County, or not, well, Montgomery County could be closer, Lancaster County, Delaware County, please feel free to contact me. Always happy to try to meet you, and if you're a good fit, more than happy to get you into our club. And that's it. Thank you so much. Bye.